We are starting. It's 1:59 now. In the next 1 minute, we are starting.
Good afternoon once more.
Good afternoon. Mr. Bernie here now. Okay, so all of us will keep our videos off. It will only come on when it is required. So let's all put off our video. We are starting now. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from across the world. It's the 5th Business Linkages Forum for Harcourt. We are pleased to welcome you. It is the second WPL SME conference for the year. Second time we're doing this conference virtually, talking about building tech-enabled SMEs. Many thanks again for joining us. My name is Linkages Udensi, and as opening prayer, we're going to have the national anthem. The national anthem, please. Okay. The national anthem, please. Okay, I'm going to have to sing that myself. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. All right. Thanks very much for listening. My name is Linkages Udensi. I am the team lead special projects and conferences. I am your compere today.
Hello, Lawson Ikuru is here.
Okay. We're going to have some housekeeping. We're establishing some housekeeping. First off, we want to let you know that this program is being broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube, and we would ask that you please invite your friends, your network, and ask them to join us as we have this very interesting program today. The recording will be showing, we'll put the recording on our social media handles. And so you can, after now, also go and check out and get the information that will be shared here today. Just so that we minimize distractions as much as possible, we would ask that you leave your videos down so that we minimize distractions. It's going to be a very interactive session. So please leave your questions with us on the question and answer session of the Zoom. If you're joining us on Facebook, kindly send us your questions, your messages on the comment section. Okay. We really would want you to participate. We want you to let us know your views, your comments as we go along. So feel free to send us messages. Okay, the program is right now being displayed on the screen. I'll just give you a quick overview of what we are expected to have here today. Shortly, the Honorable Commissioner, Rivers State Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Mrs. Ifeinwa, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Lawson Ikuru, will be giving the welcome remarks, and then we'll hear from Mr. Kalada Apiafi, the Chairman of Wider Perspectives Limited. Then the manager, the Managing Director of Wider Perspectives Limited, Mrs. Edwam Hansen, will also be sharing some highlights of the journey so far for Wider Perspectives in her SME development initiatives. Mr. James Elekwachi is here. He is the Manager Economic Development Program from the Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta, PIND. He'll be delivering the keynote address. Right after that, we'll have a very interesting panel discussion. Our panelists are all here with vast experience. I am very sure they'll be sharing great insights on building sustainable businesses, leveraging technology. The Bank of Industry is also here and will be answering some of our pain questions on assessing funding during the SME Clinic. So please feel free to drop the questions in the Q&A session if you're here with us on Zoom, and on the comment section if you are joining us on Facebook. We will attend to them. Let me also reiterate that we are live on Facebook. We request that you go like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter, and please kindly share and let people know that this event is going on. Now, according to Abraham Maslow, as quoted in the Readings in the Economics of Education by United Nations, UNESCO in 1968, it says that the most valuable 100 people to bring into an economy that is going down would be 100 SMEs. That quote is right there on your screen. And this is the core of our gathering today. SMEs are the engine of growth for any economy. For us at Wider Perspectives, our vision to be at the forefront of economic development has driven our efforts in SME development. Just to give a bit of background, this conference is one of Wider Perspectives' annual SME conferences. It's a private sector driven initiative, and our aim is to build a competitive private sector to ensure that our SMEs are growing and are able to compete anywhere in the world. I'll just quickly give you a small tour of our firm. Wider Perspectives is a management consulting firm, and we have 5 strategic business units. We have the economic analysis unit, that will be put up on the screen shortly. We also have the human capital unit. We also have the sustainable development unit, We also have the Special Project and Conference Unit, who are responsible for this conference as you have it today. All right, so that said, we will dig right into the program of today. We are starting with the welcome remarks from the Honorable Commissioner of the Rivers State Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Mrs. Ifeanyi Wampa, who is represented today by Lawson Ikuru. He is the Permanent Secretary of Rivers State Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So without wasting time, let me welcome you, Mr. Lawson, for the welcome remarks. Mr. Lawson, please.
Hello, Kachi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Commissioner, Mrs. Ifeanyi Wampa. It is with great pleasure and humility having me invited to the 5th Business Linkage Forum at Harcourt 2020, organized by Wider Perspectives Limited, to welcome all conferees to this auspicious event. The theme of this conference, Maximizing Opportunities in Rivers State, is apt at this point in time, given the state of the global pandemic caused by the novel coronavirus disease, COVID-19, given the prime objectives of connecting SMEs to large buyers of goods and services, maximizing business opportunities, ensuring access to finance, etc., etc. The objectives, when properly articulated, will create room, opportunities for the SMEs in the state to build, grow, and thrive upon. Hence, creating room for global standardization in technological space and enhance export opportunities for SMEs in the state, leading to poverty reduction, which for me is the main aim of this conference. Mr. Chairman and conferees, let me assure you that as a ministry, we have the commitment of the government to enhance the capacity of SMEs in the state to take advantage of the opportunities inherent in the world today. It is also on this note that the government of Rivers State has continued to do everything humanly possible to ensure, foster, and create a more enabling environment for existing and prospective investors through businesses to thrive and make great contribution to the state's economy, understanding the fact that the bedrock of any thriving economy and a major provider of jobs and economic growth is with the SMEs. Mr. Chairman and conferees, let me formally welcome all participants of this conference to a blissful discussion with the aim of increasing, developing, and rejigging our SMEs to poverty reduction in the state in particular and country at large. God bless the organizers, Wider Perspective Limited of this conference. God bless Rivers State. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawson, presenting the Honorable Commissioner, Ifeanyi Wampa there. We are happy you are able to join us today, and we commend the Rivers State government for your initiative towards SMEs. We believe that the impact will surely be felt. Next is the opening remarks by the Chairman, Wider Perspectives Limited, Mr. Kalada Apiafi. Welcome, Mr. Kalada. Your speech now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, so the Honorable Commissioner of Commerce and Industry, represented by my good friend, Mr. Lawson Okuro, my colleague, the MD of Wider Perspectives, Mrs. Hansen, our directors, our keynote speaker, another good friend, James Elekwachi, Economic Development Program Manager of PIND Foundation, our panelists, Berene, Awele, and Atat, our partners, representatives of the government regulatory agencies, captains of industries, CEOs, and business associations or groups, ladies and gentlemen. I think in this COVID era, we should start calling people generals of industries, not captains. They've been captains for a long time. Does it mean that they don't get promoted? Since I was a little kid, they've been calling people captains of industries. So I think by now, some of them should have been promoted. So you're welcome to this virtual conference. That's the era in which we are. And in fact, I'm attending another event and they're looking for me, but I told them that I'm at another conference. So you can actually attend 2 conferences at the same time. Well, we all know the theme, building tech-enabled SMEs. And that's why we are here today. To see how we can take advantage of technology in this time of uncertainty. It's as if we saw the future, because even before COVID, we had come up with this theme to build tech-enabled businesses, not just in Rivers State, but as far as we can reach. So I want to commend my colleagues for that foresight of seeing the future. I also want to commend our partners for their continued support. We started this journey in 2013. First of all, we wanted to have post-harvest loss conferences because we noticed that the post-harvest losses in Africa are actually in the billions. So we start to wonder why there's poverty when we're wasting billions. However, we transformed to Business Linkages Forum to reach a wider audience while also trying to work on their post-harvest losses. Okay. So the current situation in the world has made it necessary for us to hold this forum virtually. And whatever it is, we need technology to still deliver value to our customers using technology. And that's the only way you can scale up. And even though we're having a pandemic, you still have to deliver higher value to your customers, if not the same value. It's not an excuse to deliver less value. And there are still opportunities to remain afloat. I guess those are some of the things we're going to discuss today. How can we connect SMEs to large buyers of goods and services? How can we maximize the business opportunities around us? How can we access finance? That's one of the reasons why we have BOI around. How can we link various markets? And the permanent secretary representing the commissioner mentioned creating jobs and wealth. Because we know any economy that doesn't create jobs will have a lot of evildoers around the place, because they say the idle mind is the devil's workshop. There are also export opportunities. And one of the things we intend to achieve with these fora are how to create a business enabling environment, a better business environment, and also to network during such sessions, because some people make very useful business contacts here that go on forever. I have a friend who manufactures honey, and somewhere along the line, she has actually been at a various fora. So Tonya, I don't know if she's at this one. So she makes honey, and then this year she started marketing tea, Zobo tea, made from indigenous raw materials. And I now asked her, "Are you now making tea?" She said, "No, She's actually partnering with someone. And you know, tea and honey go together. So that's just an example. So Toya, like I said, has been along with us on this journey, and she's doing very well. At least I'm buying bigger size of honey. I don't. The honey is getting sweeter. I hope you're not putting sugar now. So we like to work with businesses that are willing to scale up and attain business excellence, because we also feel that it's your choice. I mean, you can decide to remain as an SME. You can decide to also scale up. Interestingly enough, all the big businesses in the world started small. So there are a lot of opportunities. I'm happy that the River State government is on board because, again, there's really need to develop SMEs globally. And, you know, there's actually an annual SME day. So I want to thank the speakers and panelists for taking out their time to be with us today. We know they have other things that they're doing, but again, like they say, it takes a village to develop a child. So it takes the whole country to develop SMEs. It's not only SMEs that will develop themselves. So we want to thank you for your time, especially the keynote speaker. I hear he has a clash of meetings. So I will quickly round off my speech so that he can have his own and then join his other meeting. On a final note, please let's all observe the protocols around around COVID. We're told it's going to be around for a long time, but I'm an optimist. I'm sure it will soon leave. We'll discover a vaccine and chase it away. So please, meanwhile, keep staying safe, and thank you for your time today.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kalada, for that speech. We're very happy that you were able to find time to attend this conference, even though you are in another event. Thanks very much. Wider Perspectives has been in this business of SME development for decades now, and promoting SMEs in the course of hosting these conferences. Up next, Mrs. Hansen, the MD of Wider Perspectives Limited, will be discussing with us the highlights of journey so far doing these conferences. All right, so Mrs. Hansen, over to you.
Thank you very much, my amiable colleague, Onyekachi Udensi. Thank you for ensuring that this conference became became alive, really. We're happy that we're all here today, and this is the 5th Port Harcourt Business Linkages Forum. As Mr. Kalada has said, it began as Post-Harvest Loss Forum, and today we have the Business Linkages Forum. So the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Honorable Mrs. Ifeanyiwa Nwakpa, represented by Mr. Lawson Ekuru, Chairman, Wider Perspectives Limited, Kalada Piafi, directors, the keynote speaker, Mr. James Elekwachi, that has been in this business of building MSMEs right from the first time I met him on the World Bank project. Our panelists, they've been in the forefront of supporting business development and also in diverse areas ranging from technology, insurance, and even business support, financial need. Representatives of governments, business regulatory agencies, we're happy you're here. Welcome you. Captains of industry, CEOs, and business associations present. Ladies and gentlemen, our dear partners, you've been with us all the way. Shows that you're committed to SME development, and we're happy you're still on this journey with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you again to the 5th Business Linkages Forum, the Port Harcourt 5th Business Linkages Forum. Just as Kachi has said, my colleague Kachi has said, we hold these forums in different states and we've come a long way. I'll take you through that path. But before I do, it's good to just emphasize the importance of MSMEs and how even the General Assembly, the UN General Assembly, has also seen how important MSMEs are. So on April 6th, 2017, the UN General Assembly set aside June 27 as Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Day because they saw that MSMEs play a very important role in any economy and they're very important. They saw the vital role and in achieving, because they know that in achieving the 2030 agenda for sustainable development, MSMEs have a very key role to play, especially in the area of promoting innovation. Today, we're the world we're in, and there are a lot of innovative activities going on, and still more to come. And MSMEs are in the forefront of that. So to achieve promotion of innovation, even the UN General Assembly saw it as very important to support MSMEs, and they set aside that day. Also ensuring that there's creativity and decent work for all. And so it's important that we all are in this drive to support MSMEs. We're happy also that the financial institution is here because finance is an aspect where every MSME, where there's support, there's need for that support. Our objectives of this forum from inception has been connecting MSMEs to large buyers of goods and services, maximizing business opportunities, ensuring access to finance. So it's a holistic approach because it's not just about access to finance, but it's also very important to build capacity. So you're connecting large buyers, small buyers to large buyers, you're connecting producers of different raw materials, different products, you're connecting them to large buyers. And then you're also linking them to market. Somebody said, I had issues with my farm last year because I didn't have the market for it, and I was surprised. She's into poultry farming, and she said she had big issues disposing her produce, her chicken. And I was shocked because I took a decision to start taking organic poultry, chicken. And I had a farm where I used to buy from. Unfortunately, I needed some more and they were out of stock. And I said to the lady, no, this is not good because there has to be continuous supply. So I had to take a break from chicken. Then I even had to buy the frozen chicken. And then she calls me like from some few days back and says, oh, I have full-grown chicken. And I was actually dancing. But here was somebody else saying I didn't have market for my produce. And I was surprised. And I said, how did you market your good? There are various avenues now to let those products out. How are you doing it? We have WhatsApp today. You have, if you cannot go on to full e-commerce, you can start with the WhatsApp. And then these forums allow you to link with large buyers, even if it's virtual. There'll be an open forum where people will connect, will discuss. You can also connect with large buyers, even if it's a virtual forum. So our forums give you the opportunity to connect with large buyers because we know that access to markets is a very important aspect of any business. You might have goods, you might have produce, and they don't have the access to market. That's the challenge. So it's a holistic approach that we've adopted right from inception. And we have done this in partnership with various ministries in the various states that we hold these forums. For River State, we're in partnership with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and also our other partners like Buff & Co, Buff Insurance and Company. And they have made this forum this year a huge reality. So we hold these forums annually, not just in Rivers State, but also in Abia, in Akwa Ibom, and in Bayelsa State. The 5th Abia State SME Forum held on June 25 this year. It was a huge success. The communique is out, and we're following up with the Commissioner for SME Development, Abia State, to implement that communique. We had a very robust discussion around technology and how tech impacts on businesses. And I tell you, there's a huge potential, because for Abia State, there's a lot of production, even as we have in other states too. And they need to leverage technology to enhance, to boost their production. The forums have been very, very impactful, as feedback from participating stakeholders have shown that over the years, Wider Perspectives Limited vision of being seen and being at the forefront of economic development has continually driven our efforts in Nigeria. Some of the projects we have handled include model business plans for SMEs, sponsored by the UN Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Nigeria project. We've also had various World Bank projects that we've implemented, all in a bid to support SMEs. We're Bank of Industry's business development service provider, and even an EDI to the CBN, all because we want to support businesses, want to support SMEs. And we're happy that some SMEs have actually benefited from our forum, and also from the engagement we've had. We have an MSME platform where MSMEs engage, they interact post-forum. So there's still a lot that happens post-forum. Some of our SMEs, the CEO of JADES was able to access the CBN COVID fund. Even another access to finance too was made possible as a result of the engagements we've had. Felicia Livingstone, Michael Rookie, we've seen businesses grow, and we're very happy that these businesses are able to leverage on the opportunities that our forums provide and the engagements post-forum, because it's very important. The engagement does not just end here. There is the post-forum activity, and it's important that you connect, and then post-forum, you also keep the connection on. We have an MSME community where we would want to keep engaging with you. So Oyekachi will guide on that as the forum progresses. You know, the COVID-19 has come with a lot of negative and even positive impacts, because some sectors still thrive even in these times. And what you can do is to partner. You can actually partner if your business is so impacted, negatively impacted. You can partner with businesses in other sectors, like the logistics. People are traveling in that space. Health, people are traveling in that space, because you must keep promoting your health. And then even for producers of tea, like the example Mr. Kalada gave, somebody producing honey had partnered with somebody making tea, and they go together. So there are various avenues for partnerships. So you should leverage on those opportunities. And then also the forum, this particular year, we are talking about technology, how to leverage technology. During the panel discussion, we will have a lot of insights from our panelists. And please let your questions keep coming. There's a quote by Alvin Toffler. He says, the great glowing engine of change is technology. And as we know, change is the only permanent thing. Change is the only constant thing. To keep changing, that's just the truth. And we cannot be left out. It's important that we leverage technology to grow our businesses, because it will keep bringing about change. It will keep changing the sound of play. So leverage, very, very important. And our panelists today will have a huge discussion, a robust discussion on that. So I wish you a wonderful time at the 5th Business Linkages Forum Port Harcourt. See you at the top, and keep shining. Ensure that you grow your businesses and make very good use of the opportunities that this forum brings. Post-forum activities are very, very important. Do not end the engagement now. Keep the engagement even post-forum. All right, so I'll say thank you at this time, Kachi, for the time. Let's get this going and get to the meat of the forum today. Thank you very much, Kachi.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Hansen. Very wonderful information given to us. One thing we can only say is kindly leverage, 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 leverage. All right, without wasting any more time, we're going into the keynote address. And to deliver it is Mr. James Elekwachi. We're going to, his profile is going to be displayed on the screen right now. And I'll just quickly give you a small brief. Mr. James is already up. I'll just quickly share some information about his profile. Mr. James has over 20 years professional experience in international development, market systems development, and project management. He's presently the Economic Development Manager at Chevron Foundation for Partnerships Initiatives in the Niger Delta. Before joining PINC, he was Program Manager at the DFID Growth and Employment GEMS project. Mr. James was also on the DFID ProCom project as an intervention manager, having successfully completed initial role as monitoring and evaluation specialist. Mr. James worked extensively as the Business Development Service BDS fund manager and value chain expert for the World Bank Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise MSME project. He has an MSc degree in International Development Finance from the University of Manchester. Mr. James Elekwachi has developed strong competence in M4P methodologies, DCED, results measurement, and value chain development. Mr. James was a recipient of the British Chevening scholarships, an award granted to mid-career high flyers globally by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office of the British government. Mr. James's profile truly speaks for itself. Having said that, Mr. James, it's your address, sir.
Thank you very much, Onyeka. Before I start, first of all, I would like to thank Wider Perspective for the opportunity to be here today and be able to present the keynote address to this August event taking place in August as well. The Honorable Commissioner, the Chairman, Wider Perspective, my friend, Mr. Kalada, the Managing Director of Wider Perspective, Mrs. Hansen, and I would like to stand on existing protocol and then move straight to the meat of today's presentation. I'd like to, first of all, talk about the PINC Foundation, so get to know about us and how we approach this work, especially in partnership with Wider Perspective over the years. PINC was founded in 2010 with the goal of sustainable reductions in poverty and conflict in the Niger Delta. And it tries to cover all the 9 states of the Niger Delta. We have the mission to build partnerships for peace and equitable economic development in the region. And our strategy is around gender and youth mainstreaming. And we also try to mainstream conflict sensitivity and as well as dialogue. And we use a participatory approach to achieve all this. We have expertise when it comes to donor coordination and as well as facilitating planning. We try to influence government expenditure and as well as building alliances for peace. So the PINC programmatic framework is around sustainable reductions in poverty and conflict in the Niger Delta. And we try to achieve this with two main program areas, the economic development and the peace building. And we also have two enabling programs, which is advocacy and communications. And with all this, we have a number of programs, both in economic development and in peace building, that will then help us to achieve the overarching objective, which is poverty reduction and reduction of conflict in the Niger Delta. Next slide, please. Okay, we'll go back to the myth of today's discussion. As everyone said during our conversation, and also alluded by Kalada and Onyeka, that the SMEs are the engine of growth in any economy. They contribute significantly to the GDP of any country. And so they are very important for growth and development of any region or any nation. And essentially, so it provides a viable means for achieving sustainable local capital formation, and it brings about jobs, income of everyone, and it can also connect private sector towards the growth of economic development. So it's also a very sure way to really have employment, because if somebody graduates from school and doesn't have a job, one of the fastest ways to really start up a business. In the Niger Delta, we have over 5 million MSMEs, and 99% of them are actually micro-sized, very, very small, and some of them are survivalists. And over 50% of those actually die after 5 years. So they don't get to pass their 5th year. So there's really a challenge, and that has to be hampered by poor support services. If you start up a business today and you're requiring some help and support, it's difficult sometimes to get it. The same thing with markets. So sometimes SMEs start without really looking out for markets, which is really the mastering point. The same situation with finances. They hardly get finance from the banks for obvious reasons. Probably they don't have good records and the rest of them, but they find it difficult, because the financial institutions do not really like to work with them. And even quality inputs could also be a challenge, not to talk of power infrastructure and poor enabling environment. These are all challenges faced by SMEs. Next slide. So PINT tries to support the sector by being strategic. So we try to be strategic by basically coming up with strategies to change the dynamics without being part of that change. So try to be facilitating. And we do this in the following areas. First of all, we have a core program around MSME development and linkages. And this is where we've been partnering with a wider perspective over the past 6 to 7 years. And we've done so well. And it's about strengthening businesses to support business services to SMEs. And most importantly also to facilitate linkage to finance and markets. These are very crucial ingredients for any SME to survive. And we also support organizations to organize business forums and improve access to business information to SMEs, and also help them to connect with other businesses. We also work in specific value chains and energy projects by basically providing commercial extension services in viable value chains. We try to stimulate innovative market solutions that address all the challenges faced by SMEs, especially those in the agro enterprises. And we also try to provide opportunities that are enabled by ICT. We also do this through a youth employment pathway that actually has an ICT as one of the sectors. So developing this pathway, try to help people gain some skills and either link them to jobs, with employers, or they can also decide to establish their own business. And so we try to essentially also focus on ICT in helping to achieve this. The other speakers have talked about COVID-19. The reality is America became a super country today because it came out from the Second World War as the strongest country. Before the Second World War, probably wasn't one of the strongest economies, but it was able to reinvent itself and became a strong economy to date. So there will be a new normal. We're never, ever going to get back to pre-February 2020. It will never happen again. So the earlier we start facing that reality, the better it is for us. Organizations, institutions, individuals that are going to emerge strong post-COVID are the ones that are able to adapt and innovate. And this is really the time. And ICT technology is actually the only way out. I mean, it was so evident during the lockdown. We were all locked down and we all had to depend on technologies. And we all know that from my experience, within the first 1 month, it was like a big shock. But by the second month, people started reinventing the wheel, started innovating. Working around COVID, today we're seeing massive revolution in technology. The ecosystem is changing. And we're seeing technology-enabled systems and strategies and models. So many models out there, and businesses are coming to adopt all this. So we're really going to see massive opportunity, just like everyone said. In any situation where you have challenges, there's always an opportunity. Next slide, please. Can we go to the next slide? Are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead,
Okay.
Mr. James.
Okay. So I wanted them to turn to the next slide, but if that is not possible, I'll carry on. So technology SMEs focus also on providing products and services through ICT platforms. They are quite fundamental in driving innovations and create jobs in the process, adding to the regional and national GDP growth. How do we do this? We try to use research to understand what the constraints are, the kind of impediments that are faced by various organizations. We also try to develop solutions that eliminate wastages, that can improve efficiencies, and identify new value streams. So it's very important we do this. Eliminate wastages, identify those wastages and try to eliminate them as much as possible. And that will make the situation to be more efficient. And also increase productivity, leading to firm growth and expansion. And we also expect that growth across different sectors will lead to increased jobs and GDP growth. So see the connection. When you eliminate wastages and try to improve efficiency, that leads to improved productivity. And overall, the sectors will begin to experience massive explosion. And that means there will be jobs, increasing income, and ultimately that's going to lead to GDP growth. So how do we unleash these economic potentials for tech-enabled SMEs in Nigeria and in the Niger Delta in particular? Those are the following elements. First, there has to be a policy framework, all right? Because governments are the enablers. So if government buys into it and implement policies that can improve the operating environment, that's the first and foremost. Second one has to do with later government incentives, especially the CBN support to ICT is very important. And we also expect that we can expand the internet infrastructure to reduce the cost and also improve access. That's very important. Most times, if you are working in Europe and in America, it tends to be faster and more efficient because the internet speed is a lot faster. You're not thinking about breakdown in power and electricity. It's very important also to ensure that SMEs can operate in a very seamless environment that can reduce the cost of operations. So we expect an emergence of tech-enabled ecosystems for SMEs. And finally, it has to also do with knowledge and awareness. It's important for SMEs to understand that they need to embrace technology. There are opportunities in the ICT sector, and the need for government action as well. There has to be awareness on the applicability of ICT in the agricultural sector. And most importantly, let's promote ICT, technology-enabled SMEs, among our youth, so that that can become a culture. So I hope to meet all of you in post-COVID, becoming millionaires in dollars, rising from SMEs to becoming large big companies. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. James. Very, very, very insightful information you've shared there with us. And just to reiterate, I'll just highlight some of the things you said that spoke to me. Life will never be the same as it was prior February 2020. When you think that it was just about 6 months ago, thereabouts then. Although people are shocked, however, there are solutions. Government has to provide incentives and infrastructure. One of them is the internet, which would improve access and reduce costs for SMEs. Another important information is that there has to be seamless environment that would also help SMEs to operate at reduced costs. Thank you so very much for that wonderful address. All right. So we're going to get down to the meat of the event, which is the panel discussion. But before we do that, we'll be launching a poll now. And while that is going on, we want to test how you are leveraging on technology for your business. And while that is going on, we would want you to listen to one of our sponsors, Buff and Company. Buff and Company is one of our sponsors this year who have, like we have said earlier, made this event successful. Mrs. Awele Ayesema is here. She is the head of Eastern Operations, and she's going to be telling us what Buff and Company does. So, Mrs. Awele, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much, Kachi. And thank you, Wider Perspectives, for organizing this event. I stand on all existing protocol. Like she has mentioned, my name is Mrs. Awele Ayetuma, Head of Eastern Operations at Buff and Company Insurance Brokers Limited. Buff and Company Insurance Brokers Limited is an indigenous insurance broking firm providing specialized and professionalized insurance services to all our clients all over the country for over 3 decades. Company was founded by Chief Babajide Olatunde Agbeja, a renowned chartered insurance practitioner with over 4 decades of experience. Our team is made up of qualified men and women with vast knowledge in various fields. We have 4 strategically located offices: Ibadan, the head office, Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt offices. We transact both life we negotiate best terms and conditions, that is pricing and coverage of your risk, your business risk. We ensure you pay the lowest possible premium and get the widest possible coverage to protect your assets. In the event of a claim, we process from start to finish. And we do all this at no extra charge to you. We are the insured advocates, always representing your best interest at all times. We also offer consultancy services and training on various insurance policies. At regular intervals, we update you with industry news, let you know what is going on in the insurance industry. Our vision is to be ahead of the rest in providing innovative global risk solutions. Mission statement is insurance broking at its best, stakeholder satisfaction. Please, for more information, please visit our website, www.buffbrokers.com, or you can follow us on Facebook, Buff and Company Insurance Brokers Limited, Twitter at Buff Brokers, or LinkedIn, Buff and Company Insurance Brokers Limited. You could also call us on 080-3360-2916 or 0708-922-6598. I'll take that again, 080-3360-2916 or 0708-922-6598. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aurelie. Buff and Company's details and information is currently displayed on the screen. You want to reach them, those numbers have been called out. Kindly call them. Top of my head, Buff is one company that guarantees your claim. Should you have any need to lay claims on your coverage, you're sure that Buff will deliver. All right. Thank you also for giving us your feedback on the poll. I'm sure that we can go ahead right now. The results are also being displayed on the screen. As we can see, it's right out there, lots of businesses. We have 100% businesses are here, represented here, are being driven by technology. We're also seeing here that quite a lot of people depend on marketing to drive, depend on technology to market their business. We are also seeing that, yeah, a lot of people have issues or challenges using technology. We are also seeing that a lot of businesses were also affected by the lockdown. We're also seeing that people readily meet their customers on the social media. So it just makes the point obvious that we can't do without technology. So having tested that, we're going right into the meat of the event. We want to make use of the 2 hours we have here. So we are going right into the panel discussion. And I'm going to quickly introduce our panelists to you now. All right. First on the list is Mr. Ibifuro Asawo. He is a special advisor on ICT to the Rivers State government. Mr. Asawo is also the CEO of Safe Forest Limited, the organization he co-founded with 3 of his friends in the university days at the Rivers State University of Science and Technology. In the 14 years of its existence, he has steered the ship of this organization towards the path of greatness, making it the foremost information and communication technology for development in education, ICT for 4DE company in Nigeria. He is also devoted to making the company to be globally competitive in the innovation and deployment of ICT solutions that will change the education sector for the better in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. Mr. Asawo is happily married to a lovely wife and his 3 sons. Next on is Mrs. Awele. We had just listened to Awele right now, and I'll just read out her profile. Awele is a graduate of the University of Benin, Edo State. She has joined Buff and Company in 2004 as a senior superintendent and rose to become the head of the Eastern Area Operations in 2007. She oversees all claims marketing and underwriting for the region. An associate of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, ISIN, by examination with nearly 2 decades of work experience and in the brokerage sector. She has attended many professional courses, workshops, seminars, and conferences in insurance management, oil and gas, leadership, and in leadership matters. Awele is hardworking and has the desire to excel in her job to a greater height. She's a tireless worker with high patience for excellence. She is passionate and has a high interest for tennis and is a fairly good player. Interesting there for Awele. Next we have Mr. Bereni. Mr. Bereni runs Neptals, an organization dedicated to building people and systems in Africa to leverage internet opportunities and solving local problems and optimizing potentials in tech, entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, and digital jobs. He co-founded Goldstream Media, a digital media and communications agency. He worked as project coordinator NGE Solutions, where he midwifed the marketing local global project at the height of the insurgency in the Niger Delta to bridge the gap between impoverished communities in the Niger Delta and global opportunities using technology by creating a two-way communications channel to help understand the real issues and fast-track real development. He studied mass communication and media studies at Collins University. Bernie organizes Startup Sunday, a periodic meetup of startups in Port Harcourt. He is the convener of Startup Port Harcourt Week, an annual event aimed at boosting the growth of SMEs, of Port Harcourt startup ecosystem. Next, there we have Mr. Attat. Mr. Charles Attat is a media personality and a global citizen who has sojourned over 13 countries. He currently serves various digital brands such as Facebook, CC Hub, Santos, and as a representative of different projects and a GMB trusted verifier. He has trained over 2,372 persons in digital skill literacy across Nigeria and handled 2 personal pet humanitarian projects that are currently running in Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Togo. He currently anchors a youth program with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Port Harcourt Network Center, and manages various company online portfolios such as Wave, 91.7 FM, Ingress QR, and many others. So there, ladies and gentlemen, are a very vast, very resourceful panel, and we will just go right on into the discussion. Welcome, lady and gentlemen. So we'll just start off, and I want to start with Mr. Bernie. So how does technology impact SMEs and business growth? Mr. Bernie, please. Mr. Bernie is here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I'm sure others can too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I forgot to unmute myself. So thank you, everybody here. Thank you, my co-panelists, those who are present here. The question, how technology affects SMEs, is a rather wide one, but I'll try to see how I can make sense of that. Now, like we all know, technology has come to stay, and it's something that has been very needed for SMEs for a very long time. And we all know that the use of technology will boost productivity in different ways. It will save costs. It will boost efficiency. For instance, a simple email from one person to another saves a lot of mileage, a lot of time, road time, and other things. Meeting virtually as opposed to meeting physically saves a lot. And by the time you put all these things together in the long term, you would appreciate how much you have saved. Also, technology helps in building capacity. Most information is available virtually now, and so it cuts the cost of training and the challenges and barriers that would affect or hinder the people in these organizations to acquire certain skills. So technology comes in that way as well. Technology also boosts transactions. I was talking with somebody a couple of weeks ago with this COVID. He runs a startup that helps with waste management. And one of the options they had pre-COVID was the opportunity for people to pay online. And it was a very big struggle to get clients to pay for that service online as opposed to physically. So you could imagine the challenge they had with going from door to door to ask to collect the money. But he said with the lockdown, they noticed that amongst the very difficult clients, they started getting that compliance, which saved them a lot. And now that the lockdown has been reduced, it has come to stay because the clients are now used to that system, and it has saved them, the costs of getting people to go to collect your money as opposed to paying online. So these are the ways that technology can help SMEs.
Okay, let me quickly ask Mr. Tad, what would you have to say about that? How does technology impact SMEs and business growth?
Well, it could impact small, medium business owners too. It's either negative or positive. It's up to them. It could help you scale up your business and get the flexibility that you wouldn't have normally at an affordable price. So that's how technology can happen.
Sorry, Mr. Charles. Sorry, you are cracking. Yeah. Maybe you should do without your earpiece so that we can hear you well.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, it is better.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes. So I think it's your ear.
Okay, I said it.
Okay, I think it's your earplug. Okay, so can you speak now? Well, it is better.
Yeah. Am I clear now?
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay. In summary, I said that technology can affect SMEs in two ways. It's up to them, either negative or positive. Now, it can help you scale up your business and reach customers that you would normally not be able to reach with lesser funding. So more accessibility at a lesser cost. Technology can do for SMEs.
Okay, so you're saying you have wider reach, and then you have more flexibility, and then you have less cost. Okay. So let me quickly ask Mr. Ibifuro Asau, what skill set is required to enable businesses scale up, especially in this technological-driven marketplace? What are the set skills that are required if SMEs are going to go to the market? Asau, please. You would have to unmute. You need to unmute, sir.
Thank you, Onyekachi. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Basic skill sets. Basic ICT literacy. It's what we need. Most times people tend to, for SMEs, they just need to have a digital lifestyle. That's all that is required. So knowing how to use your phone effectively, knowing how to use a spreadsheet like Excel can help you in doing your bookkeeping. Using a word processor can help you, like Word for your proposals, because definitely you'll be speaking to people. Having an email account, will help you reach out to people, via email. And then if you want to take a step further, like Atat, talked about, visibility, you want to use the social media one way or the other, then that could also be of help. You get out there, you've got a Facebook account or Instagram account, which of course most of us use now, for marketing. So you got some of those accounts, where you don't have it, maybe one of those working for you would have to manage those accounts. Most times when we look at SMEs, if you look at the age bracket set of people that already are out in the terms of, we think, well, we can't go and learn all of these things over and over again, but you could have people, young people that, can use a phone, okay, to reach out to your customers via SMS. There are a number of people, it's only voice call that they do with their phones. And no matter how smart it is, let's make a bit of, a good use of, the smartness of our phones. If it is a WhatsApp that you're using, or if you're using Telegram, you could use all of these things. Not necessarily maybe having the business substantively, to ensure that you propagate the cause of your business. So most times, if I have an opportunity to speak like this to people, whether they are young or old, I tell them just have a digital lifestyle. If you want to have a website, that's fine. But I don't expect, a woman, that is in the market to have a website for, her wares. Okay, what she perhaps needs is to ensure that she has, the phone number of all her contacts, so that she can send them SMS if, she's got means that she wants to relate to them. Maybe she deals with fresh fish, and then it's to reach out to them to say fresh fish is there. All she needs is an SMS, and then, bingo, all our customers will know that there is something new for them. So let's look at these people having a basic digital lifestyle. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sao. So I'll just quickly reiterate. You said it's as simple as having a digital lifestyle, simple things like know how to use your Excel, word processor, have an email account. You can improve your visibility by going to the social media, just like we have Instagram, WhatsApp, and all of that. And then I like that one. Put your smartphone to a good use. Thank you very much for that. So I just want to quickly follow up, as you were speaking. One thing that came to mind was, what are the opportunities out there? So we're in a pandemic situation and everybody are totally thrown out. Some have become better, some are booming while others are dying out. What would be the opportunities out there using technology?
Okay, so there are quite a lot of opportunities out there. In the course of the pandemic, I realized that 4 things mattered to us, okay? I realized that 1, we all wanted to be in our homes. So shelter, I realized that shelter was very important. 2, I realized that food, okay, we all wanted to sustain life and health, good health, so we needed to eat. Okay, food was important. 3, our health. And so we were all very careful to follow all the protocols, you know, so we took our healthcare, you know, more seriously than ordinary times. And then 4thly, I discovered that, you know, we still wanted to communicate. Yes, we were under lockdown, we couldn't go out, but because of our nature as humans, we still wanted to communicate. So ICT, you know, became something that we could use. And so what do people, some of the superstores immediately set up their online stores, okay? And then we started buying. People like Amazon, you know, between February and April, hired close to 200,000 people, all right? Because people were doing their groceries and, you know, all their shoppings, you know, online. Okay, so it was quite a massive one for them. Until tomorrow, it is still booming. The likes of Walmart and the rest of them are also now going online. I want to believe that the e-commerce companies in Nigeria also, you know, received a boost because a good number of us couldn't go out like we used to. There were long queues in front of, you know, most of the retail shops that we have in town. And so people would rather want to stay home and have things, you know, sent to them. And so all of these tell us the areas that opportunities actually lie, okay? So ICT became an enabler, which of course it is, but it became very, very obvious. So our kids stayed 4 months at home, and then there's bulk of them are still at home. Just the exit classes now, they're in school because of exams. And so we're so worried about their health, the safety of our kids, their teachers, and so on and so forth. And we saw what technology was able to do, okay? If you look at events now, wider perspective, you recall, last time we had this meeting, we're all in a hall, okay? And so video conferencing is now the order of the day. A good number of us, our meetings are now virtual. Zoom is now booming, you know, Team, Microsoft Team, and the rest of them. So we could see the areas, okay? The same thing, even the lawyers, the judges are telling us that the courts, they want virtual hearing. And so we started virtual hearing. The doctors also are asking for the same thing as well, that they want telemedicine, they want, you know, virtual consultation. And then we had that as well for them. And so we will have this. So school is now virtual. So most of our children are actually still going to school, you know, not really going to school, but school coming to them at home now. Okay, so we can see what technology, market people also, most of us called the market people. Most of the markets were shut, if you recall. And so we called our customers, you know, that sell us things. And then, you know, from their homes, it is either we go to their homes to pick things up, or they came to us, you know, to deliver things to us. So technology, we can see all of these opportunities, you know, there. So we need to look at the trend and then also begin to align ourselves. So if your business does not have any of these elements, you know, that we are looking out, talking about in terms of money, Bernie told us about online transactions now, people receiving money. So you found out that online payment increased. So the likes of QuickTeller, Paystack, and the rest of them had more transactions done on them because even the banks at a particular point in time were shut. We couldn't go to the banks. Even now, they limit the number of people that go to the banks. Most of us wouldn't want to go out there. The risks are still high. Of course, if you use the ATM and it's not sanitized or decontaminate, you know, as the case may be, they say you could also pick some things there. So people are still scared. So how would you want your things to go? They even told us from the COVID protocols, you know, handling physical cash, okay, without sanitizing is also risky. So most of us will rather want to do these things online. So if you do not have an online transaction platform for your business, you become, you know, an endangered species, okay? Because if this continues, then before long, you will not have people patronize you the way you expect them to patronize you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Furu. I hear. So you just summarize. To summarize, you're saying you have to look at your space, your business, and then align. Okay, very strong advice, I would say. Mr. Tat wants to make a small contribution to the second question we had asked about the set of skills we need to have in order to be able to scale our business. So, Mr. Tat, you want to add to that now?
Three things I think everybody must have. Research skills. That's one thing I've realized. We need to have research skills. You need to know, go on the different social media platforms and find out what people are talking about your kind of business, where your audience are. And all of these tools are free. Things like Google My Business is for free. You need to have digital marketing skills. You need to have that. With over 203 million Nigerians connected to the internet as of January 2020, why are you not marketing online? And then you need to have communication skills with emphasis on content creation, because content creation now is like the new money. You can only sell business when there's a story behind it. So that's it.
Okay. So I hear you say you have to have digital marketing and then storytelling. Thank you very much for that addition. You are coming from the insurance space. We also know that there are issues, security issues, there are a lot of concern, there are a lot of scammers, there are a lot of things that worry us. I, for one, I worry a lot when I have to do something online, because it's like you're putting your information out there and who knows who will get it. So let me ask, are there security issues when you're doing your business online? Please unmute and let us hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Incidentally, I didn't hear you call my name.
Oh,
but I'm just assuming that I didn't actually hear my name, you know. But
okay, so let me call your name. Awele, please. Can you speak to us now?
Sure. And then to answer your question, definitely yes. There are security issues whenever technology is in use. Can you see me?
Yes, we can. We can see you.
Okay. So technology, social media platforms, and transactions done over the internet are usually means by which companies, businesses transact their day-to-day businesses. And these are also means by which they meet their clients and customers. However, these venues are also gateways for attacks by hackers, internet fraudsters, and even insiders from the companies. You have security risk, and they are known as cyber risk. So yes, there are many security issues whenever technology is involved.
So what are these issues? Let's just a bit. What are these issues?
Okay, having a knowledge, about some of the risk involved with technology is almost like having the battle half won wherever you're trying to avoid them. So some of the very common security risks or attacks that you have is what is known as phishing. Phishing, and this is very common. Probably, most likely, every one of us must have experienced it at one time or the other. And this is the use of fraudulent emails or phone calls to try and get someone to give out sensitive information, such as their bank details. You get an email that includes a link to what seems to be a legitimate website where you're asked to give out your details, or you could also receive a message asking you to call a number to discuss issues concerning your account. That is actually an attack. It's a phishing attack. Another one is a malware. A malware is a malicious software that has harmful intent. It corrupts your business information. It will cause your system to fail. And sometimes it will secretly record your company's activities, definitely to use to harm you. A malware infects a computer, usually after a phishing attack. If you proceed from that phishing attack by clicking on that link, you're most likely downloading a malware. You're most likely going to experience a malware attack. Then there is another type of attack, which is the ransomware. The ransomware is a software that blocks access to your computers or your files until a ransom is paid. You come up to work, you try to log in and you just can't. Or you have a very sensitive file and you just can't access it. This is a ransomware. And they will not let you in there until you pay the ransom. It's actually a very common one. And in 2017, there was actually a massive ransom attack where over 100,000 companies in at least 150 countries were affected, costing billions of dollars. They will just hold your file until you pay that. The most common one, again, another very common one, which I'm sure we all experience every now and then, is a computer virus. Computer virus malware, which duplicates itself through the internet. It will delete your files and damage your programs. Usually this attack can be prevented when you install a very good antivirus. Then, of course, there are these regular online. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can. We can. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
There is. All right. Thank you. Then you have the regular online pop-ups. You're browsing the net, you're on the internet, then they just pop up here and there. Generally, they are harmless, but in some cases, clicking on them can initiate a malware download or even a computer virus.
Okay. Let me ask Mr. Bereni quickly. Mr. Bereni, please, would you want to say something about these issues and how they affect businesses? Mr. Bereni, are you there? Okay, let me move over to Mr. Sao. You want to add to this?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Bereni is here.
Okay, sorry, I was multitasking. My apologies. So, can you ask the question again, please?
Okay, so we've been discussing that there are issues, and Awele has been letting us know that there are issues, and she's buttressed a bit on the kind of issues that exist when you are using technology to drive your business. So I'm asking now, do you want to speak more about these issues and how they affect businesses?
Oh yes. So Awele has actually explained a lot, which to a lot of businesses should be eye-openers. They are a bit complex. So when you're talking about malware and things like that, these are real issues. And these are things that we should pay attention to. I won't add more to what she has said because she's almost excellently articulated those. But I would talk about the things that can easily be avoided, which has to do with, being aware of things you should guard. For instance, your password. You know, most SMEs owners are still not, don't still understand the importance of a password, that is actually like the key to your vault. And so they leave them carelessly and share them around carelessly. And that could also constitute to a breach in security, which could have been avoided. Another one is the kind of password you create shouldn't be predictable. Some people just use their name and surname or their birth month, you know, the combination of their birth dates and everything. These are things that are easy to be predicted, you know, so that's another one. The other one is standard practice now. I think the safest way to, the safest password is one that has 12 characters, that includes uppercase, lowercase, numbers and symbols, you know. So these are things that we have to, you know, begin to take very seriously now, because we are getting into the stage of having majority of our population being smart. And what that means is that more and more people are now aware that they can have access to people's emails and have and retrieve sensitive information from those. So people need to be smarter now in how they can protect themselves, because research has shown that most of the attacks, you know, are actually as a result of these things that could have been avoided. So that's what I will add to it.
Thank you very much. Our time is really running fast, and we'll have to run really fast. So let's conclude on this, Awele. What can be done? How do we, from an insurance perspective, how do we remedy the situation?
Okay, cyber attacks actually affect organizations, both large and small. And whenever they occur, they lead to most times they lead to huge financial losses. So one way to mitigate such losses from such attacks is by transferring the risk to an insurance company. And this is done when you take up a cyber insurance policy, also known as a cyber liability insurance policy. A cyber insurance is a special risk insurance policy which is designed to protect businesses and even individuals providing services from internet-based risk, and generally risk relating to information technology. So any business that stores sensitive data in the cloud, you know, that is where data right now is being stored, or an electronic device should have a cyber liability insurance. This also covers your business's liability for a data breach, you know, involving sensitive customer information. Usually when an attack occurs, you're not just the only one that suffers financial loss. You would suffer financial loss and also reputation damage. Your reputation will be damaged. Your customers also suffer financial losses due to the release of their confidential information. You know, so definitely this will lead to several litigations against you. So a cyber liability policy is designed to help you recover some of these financial losses, you know. So you're able to recover costs from carrying out a forensic investigation to determine what's occurred, you know, how to repair the damage, and how to prevent the same type of breach from occurring in the future. So you also have monetary losses from the monetary losses experienced from network downtime and business interruption. During this time, you're not working, there is business interruption, there is data loss recovery. You need to spend money to recover your lost data. There is money spent in trying to manage the crisis. You also need to spend money to repair your damaged reputation. So these are part of the expenses you can recoup from a cyber liability policy. Also, the law mandates you to inform all your customers that there has been a breach, and their sensitive information is out there in the public domain. So you need to send them notifications letting them know. The cost of that is also covered by a cyber liability insurance. That's why it's actually a liability policy, because you will have litigations. Then it covers legal expenses, just like I've said, associated with the release of this information and intellectual property, legal settlements, and regulatory fines you have to pay. And then in the case of a ransomware, where you have a cyber extortion, a cyber liability policy can also cover you for that. This particular policy is a special risk policy, and this is one of the insurance policies that Buff and Company Insurance Brokers Limited is well known for. We handle such complex, insurance policies. It's our job to protect you from such attacks, or to design policies that would protect your businesses from such attacks. Thank you. Thank you. Still on. Hello,
Thank you very much. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much for that very detailed explanation. Let's take some questions from our participants. We have some questions here. So one of it says, how can entrepreneurs leverage on digital facilities for raising funds? I want to direct this question to Mr. Berini. I know that one of the things that Bodako Startup does is that you look for investors. Okay, we've had quite elaborate discussions on that previously. So you must know how SMEs or businesses can leverage digital facilities for raising funds.
Okay, thank you. That's a very interesting question, and the answers will also be interesting, and I hope revealing. I say this because with the internet now, we have access to wider options. And so prior to the advent of the internet, our options were very limited. And so businesses had to go to the traditional lenders, which are actually not in their design able to optimize the potentials of these businesses. And so in today's Nigeria, we still have double-digit interest loans, which is the standard. And if we are honest to ourselves, businesses can't grow that way. So what has happened is businesses are now, through the internet, or investments at better rates, and there have been so many success stories. This was actually discovered by a lot of returnees, people who have been abroad and have seen how things are done, seen opportunities, and because of the internet, they've been able to connect these opportunities to businesses at home, and we are seeing a lot of successes there. So through the internet, they can have access to VCs, they can have access to grants, they can have access to better funding, that will give better conditions. So that's one way to look at it. The other one is that there's a generational shift in the finance sector now. So fintech is a buzzword, is the order of the day. And we're beginning to see a lot of innovations there. You know, I saw a very interesting one where you can actually make transfer of funds or receive funds. I just send in not an email this time, but a Facebook message, and we're beginning to see these sort of things come out. We see young people fresh out of universities creating platforms that make it easy for you to access quick loans. Yes, I know that the banks are doing it now, but we are seeing the ones that are designed for the millennials and the sub-millennials in the ways that they are comfortable with in their own culture. And so technology is actually driving this and bringing a lot of innovations there. And these opportunities are available and they're actually wider.
Okay. So we have another question here that seemed almost like that. So I'll just read out what this person has written. I and my team built a web conferencing platform during the pandemic. What we make will not be enough to manage my server. Currently, we have stopped all marketing channels because the system is overwhelmed, and we continue with the and we can't. I want to believe this is we can't continue with the marketing systems, or it would crash. And this person is seeking for funding. So I know you've just spoken to that technology is now helping people to access funding, but would there be any names you want to recommend?
Okay, let me give a rather real and brutal answer to this. But before I would say that, I would say congratulations on your ability to build a platform and your ability to think about that. But the reality is that, look, we are moving past that stage. That this idea you're talking about is 20 years old. Nigeria, as we speak, has experienced an unprecedented situation where the majority of the populace has become smart. And what that means is that post-COVID, their demand would even be smarter. And you will be shocked to realize that what you have just built the reality would be that it's a thing of the past. Now, I say this because a couple of months ago, you could go to a school and submit a proposal that you wanted to build a website that would enable them learn online. If you go to the school today, they'll work you out because Google and the rest have offered those services. So what new service are you rendering, and what will get investors' attention? Unfortunately, you won't get funding with this idea because it's not going to give investors value. The first question they will ask is, what are you doing that is different from this Zoom that I'm using? Or the other conference sites that other businesses are beginning to add to theirs. Here at Microsoft, Google, and the rest, they are sitting up, Skype is sitting up. So what are you offering? If I would make my suggestion, like I said, we now have a smart population. So you have to go deep. Think of AI, artificial intelligence. Think of blockchain. Think of virtual reality. Think of augmented reality. Think of data science. That should be what you should be thinking about now, because investors are thinking of the future, and that's the future.
Okay, investors are thinking of the future, and that is the future. So there you have it, the person who has dropped this question to us. There you have it. Oh, unfortunately, the next question is supposed to be for Mr. Tat, and I can't see him. So let me just quickly go to Mr. Bifuru. I'm going to ask you two questions in one so that we run faster. The first is, what are the implications of automating your business? And then what are the infrastructural supports that the government is providing to enable SMEs to drive their businesses with technology? So two questions in one there. One is, what are the implications of automating businesses? And the other is, what are the infrastructural supports that the government is providing for SMEs to push their business.
Okay, so thanks, Kashi. Implications. So the upside and things we are looking at, of course, efficiency, cost savings. You're looking at, once you begin to look at these things, visibility. Today, if you adopt technology, you'll be visible. Your business will be known worldwide. You can tell everybody, somebody in Moscow, say, hey, visit my website and see what I'm doing, or go to my social media handle and then see what we are talking about and what's trending in our organization. So it gives you that visibility that ordinarily we couldn't have gotten before now. So technology is giving us all of that. The market itself, you can reach out to people that are miles, thousands of kilometers away from you, because of all of these things that the internet has provided. And so in terms of cost savings as well, convenience, you're giving better experience to your customers. Once you begin to use that, you're looking at speed, the speed in getting things done, and so on and so forth. Today, look at what we are doing today. We're all miles apart across the globe, and this is what technology can do. Immediately after this, I've got 3 other meetings that I need to do, and the people are all scattered across the country, and some of them are outside the continent. So, but outside the country, but technology is making all of that possible. So these are the upside. Now, in terms of infrastructure, what is the government doing? At the moment, we are still working on the ICT policy in the state here. The government is actually looking at that. One of the things we focused here, now maybe I'm just wearing my government cap now, right? One of the things that we are looking at is first and foremost to see how we'll be able to concentrate basic things. So the Reef Tech Creek is available, where we have provided the basic infrastructure that any tech startup will require. Okay, there's power, there's an STM1, and then of course there's the room for capacity development. We've got a coach and a mentor in there who is quite exposed. Is a UNIDO trained coach, who will take you through the things. And we've got 1 or 2 companies out there, startups that are already making the rounds as well. And so that's one thing that the government is doing. How do we develop? The emphasis, I'd say the emphasis, yes, put some of these things out in terms of infrastructure is great, but we need to also ensure that the ecosystem is developed, and the emphasis has been on developing the ecosystem. If we have the right ecosystem,
Okay, seems like we've lost Mr. Saul there. While we're waiting for him to come back. Okay, we'll just go ahead and ask you, Mr. Charles Attat. How can SMEs protect their brand on social media?
All right.
Yes.
Okay, first thing first is set up a Gigi alert for your brand. And that's basically listening to what people are saying about your brand. I'm sure if most of us are running a business, you need to know that people are always searching, people are typing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, and all, etc. But when people type things using your business name or keywords, you get an email notification that would say, so business. Now you can schedule how you want to get this alert, if it's weekly, if it's monthly, if it's daily, but at the end of the day, what are people saying about your brand is important, because we get situations where people clone businesses.
Yeah.
Then ensure that across all the platforms, your business is well visible and secured. I'll tell you, like Google My Business. You have business owners who on Google My Business platforms, they've created their platform, but it is not verified. And verification is free. So in that scenario, you have somebody who knows how to claim your business. The person goes online, claim your business, puts his contact. Now, people would go on Google My Business, contact that person, and end up doing business with that person with what you've set up. So ensure that on all platforms, your businesses are secured with your details. And another thing, always set up a two-way authentication process. Whether it's your email, whether it's your Facebook, whether it's your Twitter, and have a particular device that you can go on these platforms from. That's another thing. So these are the few things.
Particular device.
Yeah, so if these are the few things I think if you go through, you'll be able to, protect your business and manage your brand reputation.
Okay, thank you very much. We're gradually going to round off this session so that we can wrap up the entire program. Let me just quickly mention that the HOD, the head of department, SME Ministry of Commerce and Industry, is here with us, Mrs. Aminye Ike Sali. You're welcome, ma'am. We're happy you're able to join us. All right, so at this point, we're going to have our panelists give us their final words. So please just 1 minute each. Let's start from Mr. Charles. Kindly share with us your last words. Thank you.
In summary, was echoing.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, in summary, I would say know your brand, secure your brand through different listening tools, and ensure that you upgrade your researching skills. That's the 3 things I want people to know.
Okay, thank you. Awele, please, let's hear from you. Last words.
Okay, so much has been said so far, and very obvious, obviously you need to upgrade your system to meet up with the present technology. You need to invest in technology. You need to invest in your staff. You need to invest in your business. You cannot leave your business unprotected. This is the part where it's important to emphasize that Buff & Company is here to help you to protect your business. We will help you to map out a well-detailed risk management plan as you leverage on technology. We'll look at your exposure as you make that move. We'll know what risk that you can conveniently retain and what must be transferred to an insurance company. I want to also thank Wider Perspective, Kachi. Thank you very much for this event. Thank you for this platform. And thank you very much for having me here.
Thanks, Awele. Thanks for all of your wealth of experience. We've learned a lot, and I'm sure that people who have come, who have participated, and even those who are joining us from Facebook will be reaching out to you. Okay, Mr. Bernie, your last words, please.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and thank you, Kachi.
For this program, your last words for this program.
Yeah, okay, so my last word would be that as entrepreneurs, we should be reminded that entrepreneurs are people who see the future and prepare for it. Right now, the reality on ground is that Nigerians have become smart. So the market is going to change, and we have to start thinking about these things and prepare for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, panel discussants. Very insightful, eye-opening information you've all shared here with us today. We can only take advantage. I mean, there's no other way to go about what we have heard today other than to maximize all of the opportunities that have been shared. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. Sawo, and he's not back yet. Okay, Mr. Sawo, are you back? Are you here? Please, your last words, please. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. So we lost you while we were talking, and please just give us your last words, please.
Yeah, just to let every one of us know that the much talked about future is here, and so we need to all brace ourselves. The change is, of course, obvious, and it's inevitable. For those of us that are entrepreneurs, this is what we are made for. So we need to rise up to the challenge and then ensure that we move with the tide of technology. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. For those of us who are SMEs, this is what we are made for. I like that. So let's rise up to the challenge and then get our country going and moving forward. Now, quickly, we're going over to the open forum business clinic session. We had said before that we have the Bank of Industry here. I'm also aware that Mr. Obo from Nexim is also here, and he will be joining us in the conversation, very short conversation, and then we'll wrap up this event. But quickly, before we get into the business clinics for SME clinics we are going to have an evaluation of this event right now. Would like you to please give us your feedback. If you're joining us on Facebook, please kindly drop your feedback on this event or your evaluation of this event in the comment section. We'll be glad to hear from you. We also want you to write your areas of improvement you feel that we should incorporate into this in our future events in the chat box here on Zoom and also in the comment section on Facebook. We are eager to hear from you, so kindly drop the information. So the evaluation is up now. Please go ahead and give us your feedback. Now, while we're doing that, let me just quickly let you know that we have Mr. Harry from the Bank of Industry, Mr. Obo Fem from Nexim Bank, and they would be answering some of the questions that we have. Mrs. Hansen, the MD of Wider Perspectives Limited, she will be moderating this session. And I will just hand over to her now so that we can maximize the short time that we have. So Mrs. Hansen, please, let's begin. Mrs. Hansen, I'm not sure we can hear you. I can't hear you myself.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. Sorry, my mic was still muted. Thank you very much, Linkages. And I will kindly request Mr. Harrison, please kindly put on your video. Then from Nexim, kindly put Mr. Obot on. So we quickly just run because we don't have time on our hands anymore. We've heard a lot about how important it is for businesses to think technologically at this time. But funding is also a big challenge. Just with, like we also heard the app developer, the one that developed the video conferencing platform. So let's talk a little bit about funding before we wrap up. So Mr. Harrison, what sectors does BOI fund? What sectors does BOI fund? We're speaking to SMEs in diverse sectors, and all these SMEs can actually leverage technology to grow. So let's hear from you, Mr. Harrison. You can unmute. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you to Wider Perspective. We are more like one organization right now because we have been partners for a long time. Okay, what does BOI fund when it comes to technology? Technology is a wide field on its own. If you look at what it means from our own standpoint, it's the application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose, particularly in machinery and equipment, used to make the delivery of services as well as production of goods more effective. So in the aspect of technology, depends. It could be the hardware, it could be software, it could be anywhere, right? But from our own end, we are looking at how to fund machinery and equipment that will make production or service delivery better. That means improved output, improved service delivery, at the same time, making life easy for manufacturers. So technology is you as a person, as an industrialist or a producer, will try to see how you can improve on the turnaround time, reduce costs, at the same time, make your output more, increase the capacity of your output so that you'll be able to meet the demands of your customers. So basically what BOI sponsors or finance when it comes to technology basically could be the financing of machinery and equipment, as well as every other utilities required to ensure you have better products, at the same time, better service delivery. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So production, equipment for production. Well, we know very importantly that, you know, they will definitely use technology to assess markets for those products. Thank you very much, Mr. Harrison. So there's still a connect that BOI funds equipment, there's still a connect to technology. Now, Mr. Harrison, are there other ways BOI is supporting technological advancement? I watched on the TV some days back or some months back where the MD of BOI was launching a hub in Lagos. So are there ways BOI supports technological advancement for SMEs?
Yes, Bank of Industry does CSR. We actually do CSR. I think last year we launched an ICT hub in Bayelsa. We're also in talks with other state governments also to launch ICT hubs in different parts of the country. You mentioned Lagos. Lagos was also part of what was launched last year. And I think there's one coming up very soon. I'll have to look inwards to know the exact time and the exact state that we are going to do that. But it's part of our CSR, not necessarily sponsoring a project that does that, but an ICT hub where we take full responsibility in financing from scratch to the very end. Like the one in Bayelsa is up and running currently. We even have a cyber desk that is in charge of setting up such projects across the nation. So we have that as our CSR. That on one side. We also do something related to ICT, where you talk of development of products or service delivery. Let me explain. Like in Port Harcourt, we have a project we just disbursed not long ago that is into something similar to Uber. Something similar to Uber. It's the name of the project is called Halify. They are into taxis and everything. So the infrastructure.
It's called what, please?
Halify. Halify, not Taxify.
Halify. Okay.
Halify. What they do is the same with Uber or Bolt or whatever service is available. What we did was to sponsor the infrastructure in terms of the ICT aspect of it, while they now are responsible to recruit drivers or riders into the platform. So, of course, if you want to set up a platform that can make life easy, the back end of the service you are about to deliver is what we can come in to get you. For example, servers, bandwidth, storage, those aspects that will make your services efficient. Of course, we can come in and assist, using that as an example.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's interesting to know that the Bank of Industry supports technological advancement and that they just did that, supported an app or a tech intervention even here in River State. We're happy to hear that. And the hubs being set up in various parts of the state. It shows that you know that technology has its place in SME development or in industrialization of a nation.
Very
we
true.
have Mr. Obo, Mr. Obo from Nexim with us, Nexim Bank. We're happy to have you, Mr. Obo. We can't hear you. I can't hear you. I think others can't hear you. Uh-oh, no, I don't see your mouth moving. I know you're speaking, but I can't hear you. Okay, so while we sort that out, we'll just quickly go back to Mr. Harrison. So apart from, what you do is to provide support, the support area of businesses where they need some technology support, you give them that kind of support.
Yeah.
What's your view on the emerging economy post-COVID? What's your view on the emerging economy post-COVID and your advice, your advice to emerging and existing businesses?
I think life just got better in a way. It's just that we are getting used to the new norm. Life just got better, and I think people should start becoming creative. I think basically that given the post-COVID situation we find ourselves now, because I think we are on post-COVID, despite the problem we had. If you are going to do any business, you have to start imbibing the culture of understanding that whatever you produce must go online. And you must also factor in the platform angle of it, where you feel when you make your production or when you produce or want to do services, you should always ensure that you set up an IT aspect of your business such that customers don't even need to know where your factory is. Customers don't need to know what your production hall looks like. All they should be looking at is good products. Then number two, you should think of how you do logistics, because nowadays delivery of goods and services is on the high because, of course, many people are still at home, and the service delivery is made easier when you have a good structure such that having marketed your product and people are now interested, irrespective of the location, you can take the products to them. So basically, if you want to succeed in this new situation we find ourselves, it's good for you to be creative and find a way either to patronize platforms that already have such infrastructure, or you set up your own very little one, because that is the only way you can actually thrive in this new season we find ourselves. So my advice is this: factor in this aspect of service delivery, home delivery of goods and services to your customers, either by patronizing existing platforms like we have the Jumias, the Kongas, and all those platforms, or you set up your own small platform, make yourself also very present in the socials like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and every other place to make sure that you brand your products, push them out, and get as much customers as possible, because the world is a small village now. It's even got smaller now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that, Mr. Harrison. You just summarized by telling every business person, no matter how small, no matter how big, you need to go online. And you do not need to reinvent anything. If you have the capacity to build your own platform, you can. But there are existing platforms you can leverage on. The world has become so small, and no matter where you are, you can actually do business with the global community. And you have emphasized that very strongly. So I plead with businesses, those watching on Facebook, on YouTube, those connected here, go online, take your business online, think through it, and don't just jump onto the online space. Think through it so that you do not disappoint your customers or prospects. You can leverage on existing platforms. Thank you very much, Mr. Harrison. While we still have you, please don't leave. We will just speak with Mr. Obo. I believe you've checked the mic issue. Mr. Obo, you're welcome again. Oh, okay. I think there's a network issue there. We can see you so nicely, but we can't hear you. But the Nexim Bank is also there to support businesses. The bottom line for us is, how do businesses leverage? How do businesses find support to grow? Because you cannot work in isolation. You cannot grow in isolation. You should actually look for ways to leverage, to partner, to collaborate. Nexim is here, BOI is here. We have also had other funders. Bereni talked about how you can access funding. Mr. Ebufera Sawo also talked about that. And a lot of insight has been shared on this program. This forum has opened our eyes to a lot of other opportunities that were overlooked. So please do not keep your business where it is now. I know of, one of my daughters began a business during the lockdown. And we were just wondering, she was wondering how she would make her sales. And I said, you could even start on WhatsApp. So that speaks to what Harrison talked about leveraging existing platforms. The word really is leverage. There's a lot of leveraging that one can do. And just the way you talked about access, there's a Harvard Business Review article that talked about rethinking the 4 Ps. Before now we had talked about, you talk on products, the 4 Ps of marketing, which now became 6 Ps, and there's even 9 Ps now. Oh, there's product, there's promotion, there's place, you must have a place. But really, you have to rethink all that for your business. And one strong aspect that technology helps you to achieve is rethinking the P, place, the P, place, rethinking place. It talks about access. Rather than talking about place, in 4 Ps of marketing, you talk about access and you focus on access. And the article says, develop an integrated cross-channel presence that considers customers, that emphasizing individual purchase locations and channels. That's where you can reach out to as many businesses, as many clients, as many prospects as possible. Do not limit yourself to a place. There are various channels. So look at integrate cross-channel presence. There's Instagram, and good thing, these platforms came on board when e-commerce was not even so popular, but today it is used for e-commerce. So do not keep your business where it is. Leverage on existing platforms, build your own platforms if you can. And when you have funding challenge, Wider Perspectives is also there to support you. We're partners for various funds, and even the CBN AXMIS fund. You can also access that fund. Remember that you must not be into core tech, but you have to integrate tech into your business. So when Mr. Harrison talked about supporting production, yes, you will produce and then you will access technology to grow that business. So do not wait and say, oh, I'm not into tech, so I really can't talk about tech. It affects you. And those even in tech, you can also speak to us. The support we have seen that Bank of Industry provided in the ICT hub and all is because they have seen the importance of that integration. So please do not stay where you are. Leverage and grow your business. Mr. Obo, is it better for you now?
Please. Can you hear me now?
Oh, great. Yeah, great.
I have to.
So in summary, yes, we're wrapping up now. In summary, tell us, how can businesses leverage on what Nexim is doing to grow technologically? What is Nexim doing to support SMEs technologically? And how can these businesses leverage on what Nexim is doing? To wrap up.
Okay, thank you.
So before you talk about that, let me just sound of Nexim Bank. So he has a wealth of experience to share with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Hansen.
I first have to say thank you to this organization. Wider Perspective has partnered with us for a long time. We've been part of your growth, and we are happy that Nexim Bank basically is very straightforward in what it does as per the mandate. The mandate, which is to exactly provide funding for export businesses and particularly for non-oil businesses. We do that through financing and then risk bearing. We also do advisory services. So with all these 3 points, you can actually link what this whole program is all about: technology. Today's world, you can't do any business without technology, even sales. I mean, from the point of your production, you must have at the back of your mind that you must sell. Selling now has even taken a higher percentage of it in the media than even physical selling. So with that, you know that technology has grown. And at that point, Mandate had to craft 2 new products that will be very accessible for especially those smaller parts of the production line. I'm referring to SMEs. So with that, we decided to do what we call SMEF, that's Small and Medium Enterprise Funding. That particular product is reduced in terms of the requirements that we usually will give to big businesses. We have a second one, which is specific for women and youth. We do products such that they will exactly not be necessary for profit, because the bank is not based on profit. The bank is developed to affect businesses and develop and diversify the Nigerian economy, which has always been a mono economy to a non-oil economy. And that way, we think that with technology, you will enjoy the best. We partner with all organizations that want to do production. If you're producing, you'll be able to sell. Now, we take a 4 standpoints in our funding. That is manufacturing, agro-based or agro-processing. We do services, and we do solid minerals. In any of those 4 standpoints, anything you're processing or you're producing that will be for export, you have Nexim to fund for you. I do not think that anybody who has requests from Nexim will have such a position that Nexim cannot fund. If Nexim cannot fund a loan, Nexim will, like we have a parent, that's the Nigerian government, which is of course CBN. There are always collaborations with which intervention funds are at that point reached out. So you see, Nexim gives you short-term, long-term, and medium-term loan. So at any point in the production line up to sales, we give. Services covers all of that production line. If you want to produce for export and then you ask Nexim to fund you to get equipment from any part of the world, Nexim will fund you. You bring the equipment here, you produce, but it must have an export content. I think that's where our point is. And then most importantly, Nexim gives you concessionary rates. One of the speakers earlier on mentioned that funding in Nigeria has been a big challenge because of the single digits. Nexim gives a single digit. At some point, because of the COVID challenge, the federal government even had to reduce the funding position of 9% for all intervention funds to 5%. And that 5% was not just only the 5%, but it gave some holiday for even interest. Because within that period, we believe that most of the businesses that are engaged in export do not have movement opportunities. So 3 months or 6 months, as the case may be, were given as interest holidays for them. In due course, if for whatever reason the government still pushes further and sees that there are improvements in the economy, I'm sure maybe better interest rates will be achieved. But at the moment, we still work within that range of 5% and 9%. So I'm just trying to clear the fact that we give concessionary rates. And within that 4 standpoints of manufacturing, agro-processing, solid minerals, and services. Thank you very much, Hansen.
All right, thank you. Because of our time is fast spent already, and we've overshot our time. We'll be wrapping up, but we're so grateful that we have this feedback. So we've clarified that there are also there are single-digit funds, even the CPN AXMIS fund, the single digit. So we're happy that that clarification also came on board from Nexim. And you also emphasize on exports. So because the world is a global village now, and we can leverage on the export market, grow your businesses and leverage on the export market, Nexim Bank is there to help you. Using technology also to advance your business gives you that great opportunity to grow. So Nexim Bank is also there. Whatever issues you have, please do come back to us. There are ways we can support you and grow your business and link you to the relevant institution, the relevant buyer. There's some questions on the Q&A that talked about linking to suppliers. Please get in touch with us so that we can give you the desired result. And at the end, by this time next year, you're coming back to say, oh, this is what happened after the forum. I was able to grow my business. I was able to get access to the kind of markets and finance I needed. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogo. We'll be wrapping up at this time. Mr. Benwari Tamiyo, please, I hand this over to you now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Hansen, Obol, and Harrison. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, very well. Yes, we can.
All right. We want to thank you for the insights. And as way to wrap up, we would like you to know that at Wider Perspectives Limited, we are here to provide support to you as SMEs who want to scale up their business. Towards the end of the program, we would share our contacts and how you can reach us so we can discuss possible ways to provide support to you. But we would like to quickly emphasize one key way we provide support to SMEs, which is through our Business Acceleration Program, the Business Acceleration Program. This program is a compressed form of our knowledge and experience we've gathered over the years as a firm, and we put them into short programs that includes training, access to finance, access to markets, access to business advisory services. All of these are to enable our businesses develop their structure effectively. So depending on the need that you have, we can provide support to you as an SME that wants to scale up. So we would like you to get in touch with us and we can discuss some of these possibilities. Just before we go, we would like to remind you on some of our upcoming events and programs. So it will be displayed on the screen, but I just want to emphasize a few of them. First is the 4th Akwa Ibom SME Roundtable. This program is coming up on the 29th of October 2020, and it's going to hold online also, and we will share the information on our social media handles. So we would like you to connect with us on our social media handles so you get updates and news and information from us. Also, the 2nd Business Linkage Forum, Yenegua, is also slated for Thursday, November 12, 2020. This too is going to happen online, and it promises great value for SMEs. And just as we're emphasizing today, the term leverage, the word leverage, that is what it is. And businesses need to leverage. And one of the ways we're emphasizing today is that you need to leverage on technology. Also, WPL, as a firm, Wider Perspectives Limited, in short form, WPL, we hold monthly webinars such as this. And the next one is coming up on the third Tuesday of the month of September. That is September 15, 2020. And we'll share the information on our social media handle. And some of you will get our emails. We'd like you to join us as we discuss on other important topics that will help us scale our businesses and drive success, especially in this time that we find ourselves. For partnerships, for adverts, for exhibitions in our upcoming conferences and programs, we would like you to reach us. Contact will be displayed on the screen, but if you can take notes of it, Onyekachi at widerperspectivesltd.com. You can reach us through Onyekachi at widerperspectivesltd.com, or you can contact us on 090-6298-1433 while we await it to be displayed on the screen. You can also reach us on 090-62-981-434. We look forward to hearing from you. On behalf of the management of Wider Perspectives Limited, I would like to once again thank you all for taking our time to join us today. We also want to thank our partners, our sponsors, the speakers and panelists, and you, our esteemed participants, audience, for being here for us. We are really grateful. We would like to continue these conversations with you, so please try to reach us on contact as displayed on the screen. Follow us on our social media handles. That would also be displayed on the screen right now. And most especially, we want to say that you stay safe, and God bless you all. Thank you very much. So we hope to see you in our next webinar on the 15th of September. Thank you very much.